This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Therapy Online. You don't have to have life all figured out. You just have to show up every day. Talking with a therapist helps you feel more confident while you're navigating figuring out who you are. Visit BetterHelp.com/allies and take care of you because, well, you deserve to.
Hello. Welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Daniel Bloodworth. We got a full house because it's been a long week, a lot of reactions. We got Brad Ellis.
Hi.
We got Michael Huber.
Silent Evil.
Good.
Michael Damiani.
Mr. Kennedy.
Haven't heard it yet, but I'm waiting. And making it all happen in the control room, Mr. Don Casanova.
Hello.
As well as the newest member of our Scream team, Gabby.
Yeah.
Friends, we're here to talk about the things we were just talking about right there. Horror's firing on all cylinders. Silent Hill is back. Resident Evil won't stop. But we might just have to live with games running at 30 frames per second. Who knows?
Ooh.
Who knows?
Gross.
In any case, before we get started, we need to choose a workout, buddy.
Yeah.
Listeners, we are currently in the process of training our custom character, Dawn Romantica. That's D-A-W-N, like the sunrise. Each week, patrons submit characters for Dawn to work out with to raise her stats. And it's up to us to choose the right partners for the adventures she's going to have ahead. Last week, we locked in just how wide these stats are going to go. Now we need to focus, start building which ones are going to be her strengths. Because we got a full desk. We've actually got 4 candidates this week.
Jeez.
From Riggs Ray, Ryo Hazuki from Shenmue. Ryo and Dawn will drill Hazuki-style techniques from the humble Tiger Punch, the mysterious Shadow Blade, to the fantastic Swallow Dive.
Love Swallow Dive.
Catchphrase, let's get
sweaty. Perfect.
Wait, was this Rio?
Yeah.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. He's back. Yeah.
From Victor Hugo
Redemption.
Capellini, Dutch Vanderling. Dutch will take you across the country, introducing you to a plethora of interesting fellows to strike important deals that might aid you on your journey. He'll also teach you how to avoid or confront tough encounters, be it with your wits or your barrel.
He would make us hardened.
Catchphrase, I have a plan, just have to trust me. From James Anderson, Raiden from Metal Gear, practicing Zandatsu on various objects. Catchphrase, let it rip.
Jack's back.
Hey, rules of nature.
Yep.
And then
Can that be our theme song, dude, if we pick Raiden?
Huber, almost a prophet over here, from Eat Ends, Tommy Angelo from Mafia 1.
Damn.
Tommy is going to give Dawn driving lessons in Lost Heaven, starting in Little Italy. Here, Tommy shows Dawn how to drive without attracting the attention of the police and without the speed limiter. The challenge is that Dawn is driving a race car, the Caesar 8C Mostro. Their goal is to reach the racetrack and win the Lost Heaven Grand Prix.
It's tough. Wow.
Catchphrase, it's better to be poor and alive than rich and dead. So Tommy Angelo, Raiden, Dutch Vanderlyn,
Wow.
or Ryo.
They're all incredible.
Don, you get a pick in here too.
Dawn.
Dawn gets a pick as well.
Our Dawn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm going with the consensus this time because every time I've been in here and picked the one that people said didn't want, so there's a lot of dissent.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I'm going with the group this time.
they're all great. I'm a little wary of Dutch because, I don't know if we can trust him.
I don't know if Dutch will teach me to good or smart. Or
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be good.
Yeah.
It seems like a 50-50 with Dutch.
Yeah.
I will say Raiden just because of our stats that we have already.
Great call.
We have huge stats in swordplay already.
Yeah.
And Raiden is just going to take us to the next level.
You are right.
I would say Raiden or Rio.
Okay. I'm leading with
our,
them too.
Our speech skill, I believe, our charisma was negative or something like that.
Yeah.
-1 on speech.
So
Yeah.
we're not doing that build.
And
we're
we don't-
pumping our stats up that we got.
Totally. And with Tommy, like, we don't need
don't need
to
driving.
evade the police
Yeah.
because we'll just slice them up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Raiden.
Damiani, you think Raiden?
I mean,
Rules of
it's
nature?
It's who I would pick because, our sword
okay.
stats
And-
are so...
Yeah.
What about Don?
Yeah, it's funny. We're on the same wavelength here for different reasons. I was just judging him on catchphrase, and for a second I thought it was real for sure. Let's get sweaty, but you know what? Let her rip is sick as hell. So I gotta go. I agree with you.
Holding like a spine thing or
Let
whatever.
her rip, baby.
All right.
So satisfying.
Raiden from Metal Gear,
Sick.
giving us +2 to swordsmanship.
Pump that stat up.
Wow.
So now, Dawn is at +1 strength, +5 swordsmanship,
We better just hold on to a sword.
+3 flexibility. That would be a nightmare. Lose the sword. +2 stealth, +1 defense, -1 speech, +1 shapeshifting, +1 navigation.
Dude, nice.
Thanks to everyone who participated today by submitting a workout buddy. Become a patron for $5 or more to submit, and watch for the Love and Respect post that I put up each Monday or Tuesday. Dawn's on her way to the locker room, and now we must answer for the mistakes we made in last week's episode. Dawn, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
We were talking about shooting mechanics in Starfield,
Yeah.
and suggested Bethesda should bring id in to help,
Yes.
so it doesn't feel like Fallout 4.
Yes.
Here's the kicker.
They
They brought it in to help with
Oh.
Fallout 4.
you. Wow. Okay, maybe
Maybe a little more hands-on.
a little more hands.
Bring him in a little earlier
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
Maybe not so late.
Yes.
I don't know.
Maybe have them be more hands-on this time. In fact, take your hands off, Todd.
Huber, when we were talking about Final Fantasy VII, the first soldier shutting down,
Yeah.
he suggested including that story perhaps as a cutscene, do something Kingdom Hearts
Yeah,
style
like
and another
Remind.
collection.
I was thinking Remind. Yeah.
But they had already announced back in the day, like a year or so ago,
Or recoded, I was thinking.
that
I'm
it's
sorry,
going to be
recoded.
it's going to be in Ever Crisis.
Crisis, yeah.
That story is going to have an expanded version in Ever Crisis.
Okay.
So it was already in
only.
the works. They already had a backup for that.
There it is.
There you go.
We were supposed to see that game this year.
All these other projects
Yep.
and games coming out, but that one,
That one,
Yeah,
yeah.
Square's got so much.
They do.
too busy. Yeah.
No wonder they're shutting down these live service games.
Yeah.
We got enough games. Just get rid of that.
It's all right.
If you have a correction, leave it in the YouTube comments on either the public version or Patreon version of this episode. Start with a word correction so I can find it in search, and leave a timestamp so I know what the heck we were talking about. End corrections music.
Boop.
All right, kicking it off. Game announcements up to wazoo. We had a Silent Hill showcase.
Yeah.
Bringing this franchise back from the dead.
Yeah. With gusto.
Yeah, we're gonna go one by one. I'm really not gonna say a whole lot about these. Just get you going. Silent Hill 2
Yes.
remake by Bloober.
Looks awesome.
Awesome.
I think it looks awesome.
Some controversy out there.
Some controversy, yeah.
Controversy on Bloober. Some controversy on the look of
lo-
James.
A lot of the controversy is
Controversy
on
on lighting?
is on Bloober. I mean, I've never seen a developer be so dismissed like this moment we have with Silent Hill 2. I mean, this is shocking to me. I know the medium isn't great. We did a review. I reviewed that game. It's okay. But I really like Layers of Fear and I really like Observer. Like those are awesome
Yeah.
games.
I've been wanting to play Observer.
Yeah, they're
Always look cool to me. I just haven't gotten to that moment. Yeah.
They were really, really cool. And I was actually you brought up maybe Ninja Theory, but actually I was thinking of Telltale Games, people watching, because Telltale was making like CSI adaptations. They're making CSI games. They eventually did like Back to the Future and Jurassic Park, which were like...
And Sam and Max.
And Sam and Max. And they were all just like, eh. And then what did they do? They did The Walking Dead, which is fucking legendary. Telltale's The Walking Dead. So like... Just because of what they've done, that doesn't, we're here now.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, and it's very fair. Like to say that about a studio that they don't, not all of them come right out of the gate like cranking out like bangers like that. I think within the specific context though, why would you, such a high profile game, wouldn't you want to go with someone more proven?
Yeah.
So what you said is true, but I think some people are somewhat justifiable in their disappointment that it isn't a more established studio.
Yeah.
So
I think obviously coming from PT with Kojima, I mean that's the top of the mountain. You have Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro, the horror master, and like PT was just so incredible, even though it was so small, just that little slice. So I think like, anyone other than like getting Capcom in here or like Konami proper maybe would have been disappointing. Like I just don't see who else could have been brought in. Like, does Remedy do Silent Hill or something? It's like, no, they're doing Alan Wake and shit. Like, so I just don't know who.
That wouldn't be bad though.
Yeah, it would be awesome. It'd be awesome. But it's like I just don't understand who else would have come in, because it almost feels like if a brand new team with no history whatsoever was behind this, there would be less backlash from a studio that had done nothing. So I do find it interesting discourse, because I think at the very minimum, Bloober captured the vibe. I like what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I guess it's just like a thing on paper when I heard Bloober, because I've played the medium and I did not like it.
Yeah, of course.
And I played some Layers of Fear and it was fine when I played it, but it's just like, when I hear that, I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, but I'm definitely willing to give him a chance.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to write this game off yet.
Yeah.
We've barely seen it. I want to see what it's like when you're actually playing it.
Totally.
But I understand that this is an extremely beloved game, and I don't know this game nearly as well as other people do, and so I can understand hesitation if you're seeing things you don't like. But at the same time, it's just like a little bit of the game for me, so it's hard for me to like fully invest or write it off yet.
Yeah.
What do you think of the look so far in terms of the town and everything?
I love it.
Yeah, I think the town looks cool.
I love it.
A lot of stuff I saw people complaining about is like a lot about like character, how their motivation
James.
and their face kind of thing like that. I personally just don't remember because it's been so long for me, so it's hard for me to comment on that. But like seeing him walking around the town and like the lake shots that I recognize, they look good to me.
Yeah. I think one thing we're noting, particularly looking at screenshots and stuff, is that maybe it looks a little bit too clean in a way.
I got to see it in motion.
Visually overall,
Yeah.
Because
it's
on the PS2,
crisp.
there was so much fog.
Yeah.
That it was sort
so
of like,
grainy and grimy and dirty.
It kind of covered up everything a little bit.
Yeah. Even like the blood and grime just looks crisp in this. Yeah. So... yeah, got to see it in motion. But again, I really liked this trailer. And for this franchise to be gone for a decade, the stakes are so high, especially with Silent Hill 2, one of the most beloved survival horror games, one of the most beloved games ever. So I think with such high stakes, I'm optimistic. I'm relieved at what I saw.
Yeah. And I think one of the things, too, is... what they said during the showcase, they have developers pitch them on Silent Hill projects every year.
Yeah.
People are constantly coming to Konami and like, hey, we want to do this. We want to do this.
Yeah.
Something that Bloober said broke through that noise at the right time.
Exactly. Something was said. They obviously liked what Bloober's vision. Like, Bloober clearly got it, and that's why they were chosen. I wish we could know more about that. Like, let me see that interview.
Yes.
Let me see that pitch.
The only thing that's weird to me is I don't think Konami themselves are the most trustworthy.
Konami doesn't even get it. It's like,
Coming back from the status of Konami what they've been like for a while now.
Yeah.
It's a little. There's definitely expectation.
Apprehension.
A better way to put it.
Totally.
Apprehension. A lot of apprehension.
I get that.
Towards something of this caliber.
And I also think that like there's this weird sense that
like Jones.
if you feel like you sort of distrust the motivations, right? It's like as long as Konami can put out stuff out there that like, hey, people like this, it'll make a lot of money. You know, that seems to be more of where their perspective is coming from these days than we want to make some cool games.
I saw the cynicism of like, oh, Konami just like is checking all the boxes, and it's like, I mean, I guess if checking the boxes is making like 4 high budget games, like I don't know. I'm looking on the bright side of it. Like this is a very high budget looking project.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like cranked out for monetary reasons, you know? And obviously the trends, you know? Konami saw the success of Remake 2 and has seen the success of horror lately. Always, you know, horror's always big, but right now it's
They've
obviously
tested the waters
having
with
a moment.
The Dead by Daylight crossover stuff. Yep.
And like people have been asking and asking and asking. And, you know, I think they finally realized and finally said, okay, it's time.
Yeah. People have been asking for Konami to get back into games while it's not internally developed.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to be too disappointed in this. They got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a okay place to start.
Yeah.
The next one, which I'm actually pretty excited for, but we saw next to nothing on, Silent Hill Townfall from Annapurna and No Code, who are the devs behind Observation and Stories
Untold. Yes.
Now, I played Observation. I have no context for Stories Untold whatsoever, but Observation was a really cool sci-fi. I guess it dabbles in horror some, but like you're like exploring the space station, going through cameras and stuff, and it's just it's a really neat concept, and it's got some crazy payoff at the end too. What's Stories Untold like?
Just like anthology, kind of choose your own adventure style, slower paced.
Got it.
Just like mini stories in a anthology package.
So,
story focused.
The trailer really just focuses on this like little like analog portable TV. I wrote down some of the things that they say in there because I think when we're reacting, like we don't really catch it all. It's like, oh, there's somebody talking, and we're like so focused on the visuals.
Looks like a Game Boy a little bit.
Definitely, you know, obviously this stuff all fits into the Silent Hill overall lore, but why are you here? You're here to be punished.
Whoa.
You've done something so awful. You're stuck here in this place, being judged by these people. But for you, I think it's more than that. I think you're here for some other reason. And I don't want to be anywhere near you when you figure that out.
Sick.
So that's a vibe.
Cool.
Band keeps moving across and realize that.
Yeah, it's like Stories Untold, and you know, I haven't played Observation.
Yeah, it's not long.
It's like
It's a night or two.
would people have rather had that swapped? Like if No Code had done Silent Hill 2 or something instead of Bloober? Because like No Code is proven. They're awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm very, and Annapurna obviously great publishers.
Yeah,
so very excited about this one.
I think reputation there with atmosphere and the like storytelling.
Yes.
I mean, almost maybe it would have been better to have Bloober and them all of them team up to make the Silent Hill 2 remake. Might have been like more gotten a little bit more faith out of people.
Yeah.
Now I watched some of you reacting to this.
Yeah.
And you love the name Townfall.
Yeah.
And I think it was you. You were like, you love this
It's a good name.
Now, obviously, I don't have
Rolls off the
experience
tongue.
with their other games, but would it be possible for this to be kind of in the vein of a Dark Pictures type experience?
That's where my mind kind of went. Like, is it going to be kind of Telltale-y or?
Because it's
I don't think that's what their other projects are like.
No.
But is that something maybe they've seen some success from that? And what was the most recent one you just played through? That's not from them, from different developer.
Quarry.
The Quarry.
No,
yeah.
You know, it's the same devs.
Oh, it is? Okay.
That's Supermassive, but yeah.
Supermassive, yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's just not Dark Pictures.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Quarry.
But those types of games, I
Yeah.
found a spot that's something they could explore, especially, from a narrative
Absolutely,
perspective.
absolutely.
And having Annapurna being, obviously they're not the ones developing the game,
Yeah.
but there's kind of a pedigree behind them with the games they do select to publish and
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those projects where they've got, this blank slate to do
Yep.
Yeah.
whatever, and I think the whatever they've done before has really been, it's done a good job at messing with your head. So
Yeah. High hopes for that one. Have no idea what the hell it's even going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm optimistic about that
Seems
one.
promising.
Yeah.
yeah. Next up, Huber, Return to Silent Hill. We've got a new movie coming.
This was a little too long. I always love passionate people talking about their craft. It was just a little too long.
Especially when you're just, looking at these old clips of the
Yeah.
first movie, and you're like, wait, this is
Yeah.
the old movie, right? And
Yeah. I love the first movie. I think it's awesome. I haven't watched it in 10 years, but it was cool. I kind of feel about it the same way as Resident Evil 1, where it's it's cool.
Sure.
It's a cool movie. And just him coming back and talking about it seemed promising as well. It's not something I'm going to count down the days to, but I will definitely be watching it like I try to watch all video game movies. So
The weirdest one, Silent Hill Ascension.
Yeah.
I've got two descriptions of this.
I don't
Still
even
not
remember
clear
this.
what it is.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
A new interactive streaming series where the entire community shapes
That's
the
right.
canon of Silent Hill. So weird. Available 24/7
That's
in
so
2023.
Weird. That is so bizarre.
So,
Is this mobile?
no,
Yes and no.
wasn't there experimental film thing where people could select options in the theater and then the audience determine what scene would play out?
I'm just thinking of Bloodworth playing Defiance back in the day.
I don't
Shades
think
of
this is-
Defiance
I
or
don't think
what?
it's a game. I think whatever you see is
A live action thing.
or I mean, it could still be it could still be game graphics, pre-rendered CG, whatever. It's just there are several outcomes for each choice, and
Yeah.
whatever everyone tuning in for Twitch, for their mobile app, whatever they're doing,
Yeah.
there's a window where you have that input, and once that is locked in, it will then play out that choice,
Yeah.
and it just keeps going. It never ends.
I think you're getting close to hitting the nail on the head. I think this is Silent Hill as Twitch plays
Yeah.
Pokemon,
yeah.
basically.
I said it during the reaction, but I get Peter Molyneux vibes
Yeah.
from this project.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, like there's some kind of weird gimmick.
Yeah,
That's
this
just-
whole
Well, the whole
gimmick.
thing is a weird.
Yeah, that's just not gonna necessarily shake out the way they're hoping. I don't know. This one I'm skeptical about.
The second description
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
will immerse participants around the globe in the psychological horror at the heart of Silent Hill in a unique way by putting an all-new Silent Hill story and characters into the hands of the audience as the narrative unfolds, live on multiple platforms.
That kind of gets me thinking about a Pokemon Go type thing, where people are out and about and playing, and maybe you because these text
gosh.
messages shown in the
Instead
trailer.
of Pokemon, there's just some horrifying
Well, maybe you go to a
creature.
building and you encounter something and you need help. You send out the signal. People immediately around you can do impact that, whether they decide to help you or abandon you, and maybe this project is a way of tracking all of that. That seems a little bit more complex and ambitious. I think it's more what we were talking about earlier, more of a Twitch, Twitch plays type thing.
Yeah.
I'm always down. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing.
I'm always down for some really weird stuff. So if you play this game on Twitch, I'm fully open to Konami emailing me creepy stuff. You know what I mean?
You want to give them your phone number?
Yeah, or if I'm playing this on my phone,
Right.
call me and leave a freaky message. I'm down.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, and then there's a whole bunch of people mixed up in this. You've got Genvid, who I'm not familiar with, Bad Robot, which is J.J. Abrams' company, Behavior Interactive, who does Dead by Daylight, and then DJ2 Entertainment, who is I'm not familiar with them either. So there's just all working together to something that sounds both simple and complicated at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
So we'll see on that
Yeah,
one.
it's weird.
Very weird.
And then
That one, the cynical side, sure, checking the boxes
right.
with that one.
Well, I don't have a check in the box, but I do think it's something that's so out of the box
Yeah,
that
sure.
it is good to have within the context of all these other announcements.
Perfect
Because if they
fun.
just came out and they announced this on its own, you'd be like, what?
Yeah. This is the dark timeline when this is the only Silent Hill you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope this has microtransactions, whatever it is. You could pay to help.
Buy 5,000 votes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Ooh.
And then the last one,
Yeah.
which some people may be the most exciting one.
Yeah.
Silent
Yes.
Hill
Yeah.
F.
Wow.
Completely new story, set in 1960s Japan.
Wow.
From Ryukyushi 07, whose real name is unknown, who's the author of When They Cry visual novels. And yeah, it's like
I saw people that read their stuff is they love it.
yeah,
They love it.
people were psyched when they heard that name.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, the trailer shows this kind of older Japanese town, a girl visiting like a shrine or a grave or whatever, and there's these flowers there, and then here's the thing I saw after. It looks like the pipe is in front of the shrine and the flowers. Before she picks it up, and then
Got
you see
it.
her dragging the pipe into town.
Got it.
And as she's entering town, then all of the stuff starts growing up.
Dude.
It's so gross.
It starts grabbing her.
The look of that looks
Fleshy
straight out of
tendrils.
Spielberg's War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that's a good reference.
So
for sure.
disturbing.
Yeah, it freaks me out.
Yeah.
It is truly like almost impossible to repulse me with visuals, to actually repulse me, and this like almost made me gag. Like, I don't like looking at this stuff. The holes in the body and the things popping out.
Yeah.
This
Well,
like
when they do the close up, it looks like a bunch of teeth with cavities or something.
oh my God, yeah. The face coming off, like it was actually disgusting. So good job, Konami,
Yeah.
on that. Yeah,
Good
well
job.
done. You grossed me out.
Tense.
Yeah, it looks really cool, but I like the environment, completely different time period than we're used to. Like, just being in Japan is like
Yeah.
fascinating
Yeah, all of it.
to see
yeah.
how it'll tie into maybe the town itself, like Silent Hill
Yeah.
itself in the future or something like that.
And that's a fair thing to bring up because, as we've been talking about all this day in the past few weeks, and it's like horror is making such a big comeback, but I don't think we've seen a lot of big budget Japanese horror.
Yeah.
No,
Recently.
we have not,
Yeah.
except
No.
for Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But I mean, set in Japan.
Oh,
Yeah.
What
Set
was
in Japan,
Like
Tango?
Ghostwire.
Ghostwire.
Not
yeah.
really
yeah.
horror,
Okay.
but
Yeah, Ghostwire
yeah.
is supernatural, but not really horror.
You know, Blood. I don't think horror is making a comeback, so to speak. I think AAA horror
Right.
is making
Right,
a
because we've
comeback.
had the Fatal
specific-
Frames and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and like indie horror has been killing it for the last bunch of years. Like, AAA last couple of years has just been like, oh my goodness, just all these big horror projects. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, exciting. Exciting to see Silent Hill back, especially with 4 announcements that are quote unquote games, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever that.
Something old,
Social
something new,
ones, yeah.
something
Yeah.
freaky.
I think just like my final note is like after 10 years, this is pretty much the dream. Like we're getting 4 really different games. We're getting a remake. We're getting a potential sequel if Silent Hill F is like prequel sequel, and then like 2 kind of weird experimental types. Like
Yeah.
that's perfect. Like what more could you want after a franchise has been gone for 10 years? I mean, maybe the entire effort is on like one new game, like if all of it was on F, but it's like we're kind of just having our cake and eating it too. We're getting kind of
Yeah.
the best of all worlds
Yeah, because
here.
it's like if they had just announced F, I think people would be
yeah,
psyched.
yeah, like oh, it's back.
And now
okay,
it's like we've
awesome.
got that, plus we've got these other things.
yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
Yep.
Slitterhead. That's old Silent Hill people,
Right.
right?
Right.
Yeah. Haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see that again. Next up, a day later, Resident Evil Showcase.
Yeah.
We won't go into all of these announcements in the same amount of depth.
Probably brush over Reverse in like 4 seconds.
Yeah, Reverse looked good for a second.
Looked good for a second.
And then it looked like RE-verse again.
I think it was the clip the when a match starts.
Yeah, the intro.
You get a little cutscene of like, the characters walking up, and I was like, oh my god, it looks way better. Okay, it looks the same. Yeah.
We got a bunch of cloud ports coming to Switch.
Yep.
I know about that.
But yeah, Winter's Update, though, that is
Got a week away.
a week away. It's got Shadows of Rose in there, as well as the Mercenary Editions
Yeah, third person.
and the third-person mode, which they put a 60-minute demo out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which apparently you can't get the
a
demo
little-
unless you
yeah.
haven't purchased Village.
Yeah, it's a glitch right now. They're working on it.
Oh, it's
I
a
heard.
glitch. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's good to know that they'll at least have it available.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we did see a fair amount of Shadows of Rose. What do you think so far? What are we seeing with that? With the crazy
10 out of 10 hyped.
like
Yeah.
glowy arm and
Yeah.
Her powers or whatever.
Yeah,
It has
a
a.
lot of-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like still have lots of questions
Yes.
about what's really going on in this. Seeing so many people throwing out, is all of it really happening? Is some of it in her head? And going back, like revisiting the village and having like things a little bit different, like some of those shots clearly showing iconic spots we've been to, but something's a little bit off. And in gameplay wise, obviously still wielding guns and weapons at certain points, but that power she has,
Yeah.
and saying that she wants to get rid of it,
Yeah.
that's something she wants to
Right.
purge from her, yet it seems very crucial in dealing with certain situations in this. So a little bit of the supernatural power with traditional weapons, so kind of curious
Yeah.
if that holds up as an interesting gameplay hook.
Yeah. And I'm just really excited to be Rose.
Yeah.
And I
it's
want to
cool.
see like the Winter's legacy. And
Yeah, totally.
Right.
how that all ties in. Like she's such a big part of, Village in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's such a big part
Rescue
of Village.
op, the whole game.
So it's like, okay, this many years later, like I want to see how it all shakes out. Like very interesting point for the story.
yeah, because there's a lot too sort of in that time gap where it sounds like they've been using her for something, right? And so like you wonder what that's about. It's like this whole time, this whole series, you've been here to fight bioweapons.
Yeah.
And now it seems like, the quote unquote good guys have been
Yeah.
using her as a
Yeah.
bioweapon, and she wants out.
Totally. Yeah, and then when Capcom said, that the DLC started out small and they were like, no, we're going to expand this. Like, we have an opportunity here to expand it. And then they were like, yeah, we're going to wrap up the Winter's story arc. Like, all those details, get me so excited.
Yep.
And then just everything we've seen. And
Yeah.
yeah, the Mind Palace 2 is kind of a double-edged sword where it's like, all right, it has limitless potential. Like, who's going to show up in this thing? But then also, like, is it all real? Is it just,
Yeah.
are we dreaming? Does it matter at all?
Right. Yeah, I am curious to like how much of this like is actually like part of a real world versus all being in her mind. There's definitely the psychological parts of it. Like we saw, there's a clip in the trailer where she's like tiny.
Yeah.
And there's like these freaky dolls
Yeah.
surrounding her,
Yeah.
and the door is gigantic, and it's like we get some nice fun things to mess with your mind.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But the big boy, finally get a look, some solid gameplay of Resident Evil 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take us away, boys.
Please.
Take us away. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Damiani's a big RE4
Like, I always-
fan for sure.
You guys, dude, both you guys in my life, like talking to you about Resident Evil 4. I remember when it came out, you played that thing a million times in a row. I remember meeting you, just like how much you love this game. Like, what do you guys think here?
What I've seen is very impressive. This, like a lot of people, the skepticism, inherent skepticism of trying to revisit a game that is already so well received, so critically acclaimed.
I
and
mean,
then
so good
messing
that they just re-released it last year on
Yeah.
Oculus, right?
Yeah.
and like fundamentally altering those questions came up. how's it going to play? Are they keep melee in there? Is it going to be any kind of goofy, or is it going to be very serious? There's all sorts of questions swirling about. And the gameplay footage, the new trailer they showed off today, very much, very much impressed. I'm trying to stop sort of saying exceeded expectations, because only one of us has had any kind of hands-on with it at this point.
Check out easyallies.com. You can check out my 20-minute hands-on preview. I talked to Brad about it. You can check that out.
But it just looks so insane. And I was telling Brad earlier, the best thing about this is it looks like it's going to allow people who've played this game so much to have that very highly sought after experience of experiencing it for the first time again. Like, it feels new and fresh and exhilarating again, and looking so forward to that.
Yep.
Because I love stuff like this and Final Fantasy VII Remake, like the changes and stuff like this. This is what I love. Yeah. It's familiar. And it's not just checking off the boxes. It feels authentic, but it also feels different at the same time, and different in a good way.
Right. Well said. Well said.
I mean, to me, like, one of the best examples of that is one of the things that Resident Evil 4 did was the way that the AI chased you and played with you, and like you'd knock down a ladder, but then somebody would put the ladder back up, or somebody be coming across the rooftop, and just like that sense of threat that you really didn't have before. It's not exactly like the jump scare, but is it this kind of claustrophobia that, like, I can't get away from the crowd, right?
Yeah, it's pressure. It's them putting pressure
Tension.
on you.
And to see
Mikami's philosophy.
that amplified in ways that they couldn't have done that back then. And like now, the chainsaw guy is actually being able to break through structures and things that they couldn't have broken through before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this definitely exceeded my expectations, honestly. I had very high expectations, but I've been really pleased, not only from like what's going on in the story and like what we're seeing familiar things, but is the new things like the mechanics of Leon having his knife be like a resource now.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Instead of having it the whole time, and you can do different things like the parry and like the counterattack kind of things. It's like small little things like that really matter to me and dramatically change how this game is going to be played.
Yep.
And also the focus, it seems more on horror, way more than 4. Like, you have the flashlight now, like the 3.5, whatever, the old clips we saw of Resident Evil 4 back in the day, the beta versions of it.
Yep.
Like, tapping more into that is like very pleasing to me.
Yes.
You put it a good way, Huber. Before we started shooting, the way people like us play RE4 OG at this point.
The meta, it's just been so dissected. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that you were saying that this offers, pushback.
Yeah.
Gonna challenge you to play a little bit differently because of what you're saying, Brad, like the new mechanics that they're showing off here, that it won't be as straightforward.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. And as we've played from 2 and 3,
Yeah.
those are a little bit more drastically different because of their remake, but we know that play style, and
Totally.
you can see how that's going to be carried on in 4, but also mixing in some of 4's own unique, like the melee stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem too overpowered yet. I obviously haven't played it, but at the same time, as you said, your knife's a resource, it's durability. It doesn't look like you can just knock everyone down and then spam your knife. It breaks. You don't have it anymore. Now you don't have that option. You got to think of other ways to do it. The chainsaw person, like the first thing I'm doing when I get hands on and not demo, but like anything that lets me play the village area.
Yeah.
I want to see if you can just like hide out in the same spots with a shotgun and feel like no fear from the chainsaw, or is the chainsaw dude gonna make me sweat a little bit? I want to feel that panic.
There's some sweat. There's some stuff.
There's a little tease in my little preview. I do go over one thing that they did not show today. One little detail.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear that detail, you're going to have to go watch that video on easyallies.com. Check it out.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that stands out to me is with the character design and the creature design and how all of those things feel different and surprising and yet feel right. They don't feel out of place. You know, it's like I know that like you like Jill or whatever in RE3.
Remake 3 Jill is my
But
favorite looking
she
character.
doesn't
of
look
all
like
time.
Jill Valentine to me. Like,
looks
and I'm
the
sure if I
best.
actually like sit down and play that game, I'll get used to her and all of that. But with this, it's like even though people look different, you know, even though Luis looks different, like he looks like Luis to me. you
Yeah.
know, So
Leon,
Yeah.
obviously remake 2. Like,
yeah.
you know. Salvador, Chainsaw Man, the
Yeah,
eyes, the
their name's
freakiest
Salvador,
eyes
yeah.
of all time. I don't want to look in those eyes.
So disturbing.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I
And-
think. Like, how do you make such an iconic enemy look even more terrifying?
Not to mention, there are gonna be other variations of that chainsaw person
Oh yeah.
later in the game.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Cannot wait for some of that.
Yeah.
And
And
what's crazy too is, you know, they've shown so much in this trailer, you know, from stuff that's even later in the game that I don't think we were aware was going to exist when the first game, you know, originally came out. But at the same time, like they just tease the Las Plagas, you know, and it's like you fight Las Plagas a lot in this
Yeah,
game.
yeah, we have
And
not
we
seen
just
a
do
lot.
not
the
see it.
Ganados.
We have not seen a lot.
Yeah, seen a lot of the Ganados, saw the tease of the. Yeah, a lot of enemy types we have not seen yet
Yeah.
either, which I'm very glad.
Hold 'em
they're
close, Capcom.
holding
Hold
a
'em
lot of
close.
them. But and again, trailers don't always show everything, but I feel like what they showed off in this trailer, everything from the village, some of the castle, nothing even remotely hinting at the island.
The island.
yeah.
The island is
That's-
the biggest question
That's
mark.
the
Yeah,
biggest
sure. Island is a
question
big
mark.
question mark.
Yeah,
is
you could tweet that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed a map in the pre-order bonus
Yeah.
for the collectors, and there's no island there either.
No
But
island.
obviously, they might want to not spoil that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what would be a cool trade-off?
What's
If, because, you know, Resident Evil 4, the PS2 version, had Separate Ways, which was the Ada chapter.
Right.
It'd actually be kind of cool if, like, Ada did the island part or something, because, like, she's all, like, fast, kind of zipping around. Maybe she's, like, zipping around. I don't know, just spitballing, just thinking it out. Maybe combining elements somehow to, like, streamline
I
it.
mean, you just take out some of the stuff down, and that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
that's
trim it
what I
down.
think.
You
Just-
take out some of the
just-
contra parts, and
Just make it better.
yeah, just make it better.
Yeah.
Like
There's
minigun
nothing-
guys? Are
I
minigun
don't
guys
think
going
there's
to
anything
show up?
inherently wrong with the island. It just, you know, it just wasn't as strong.
Yeah.
oh, another big question for me: will the RPG be in the game?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You can't have Resident Evil without a rocket launcher, Damiani. Come on now.
And will it be as like, can you just buy it outright for like the one-time use? Will that
Yeah.
trivialize boss fights, or will they?
Maybe they'll make
that-
it super
Yeah.
expensive.
Personally, kind of hoping, yeah, it's withheld, or there's only a finite amount of ones you could buy, and it can't like a single playthrough.
Yeah, exactly.
What I
that.
wonder,
And maybe it isn't a one-shot kill. Maybe it just does a ton of damage.
True.
Kiefer, I don't know if you got to ask him any kind of questions on these lines, but we haven't seen anything that really looks like a QuickTime prompt. You know, other than like the
the knife
block.
stuff.
The
Yeah.
boulder.
So the only thing I can really say about that is the enemy, the very first enemy in the game, remember in original, that swings the axe and you do the quick time, that was just a cutscene when I played it. They didn't show it in the demo today, but when I played that section,
okay.
it was just a cutscene.
Okay.
So I don't. Yeah, I think cute QuickTime events are gone, and instead it's just the prompts for like parrying,
Maybe.
and dodging.
I could
like
see them
something
doing
like a Krauser fight
one
kind of thing.
Yeah.
just,
surprise you.
Yeah.
Wasn't jumping out the window also a cutscene in this
Yes.
trailer?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't a prompt either.
But
Yeah.
I think you can jump out windows.
yeah, because
Yeah.
in the village chainsaw part, you clearly went through that window.
Oh,
Yeah.
now you can stealth. That like can dramatically change this game. I don't know how like effective stealth will be if it's like, you know, The Last of Us, where it's like, yo, you need to really stealth. I can't imagine it being like that, but if you could pick
Yeah.
off a few guys, maybe
Pick
or
off like
something.
higher threats. Like
Or-
if you could stealth the chainsaw or
Maybe if
something
you
to
have
do
like
a ton of damage.
if you yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll
Maybe like
do
not
that.
killing him, but
I could see two things they could do with stealth. One, you still have to deal with the enemies no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not gonna get stealth kills. But let's say you're low on ammo. If you're using stealth, maybe you're able to collect a few more things before you begin the fight.
Yeah.
Like I bet at the village at the beginning.
Yeah.
that's one of the things you can run around and grab some stuff
perfect.
normally. But what if now it's like
Great
requires you
segue.
to be stealth? Other thing, maybe setups for like big kills.
Yeah.
You want to like set up maybe there's an explosive barrel over here. and you want to lure the enemies over. So,
But someone's guarding it, stealth kill that
so
guy.
maybe,
lure him.
maybe do something that sets up so that you could,
Yeah.
get a good head start on the battle.
Yeah. I only got to play for 20 minutes, and the first thing I did when I got to the village Damiani was immediately run to get the shotgun.
Yep.
Do not
Yep.
pass go, do not collect $200.
Yeah.
The dev at the end, because I didn't see it and they didn't show it, so I haven't seen it. I cannot confirm, but the person there said, "Oh, you booked it into the building. If you went left there instead, you can get a stealth kill."
Oh,
on
there are. Okay.
the enemy there. That's just what he said.
Okay.
I don't know if it was like an actual like crouch down stealth
But yeah.
or if it's like just an attack of opportunity and then everyone is like, "Hey."
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know if you do it if it'll break stealth, but that's what he just said.
So my question would be: is it gonna burn your resource then, your knife?
I imagine if you use it, it'll do damage
Because
to your knife.
combing through the gameplay stuff, we did see the
Yeah,
bolt
the
gun,
meter.
and you could collect
The bolts.
the bolts back after using them. So maybe
Nice.
for stealth kill, you just pick up your if you're not under duress, you can just pick your knife back up, and
Yeah.
it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I like the durability. Just like,
Yeah, I
if
think
it
that's a really
just
good
uses
idea.
Some of that.
kind of counters the cheese meta a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that a
Please
lot.
counter it.
Yeah. Very smart. Looks incredible.
Yeah, it was so good.
We got more news to come, but if you're enjoying this show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring the bell. It helps us and helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It's easy to get stuck in goal mode or problem-solving mode, I think. Something you can learn from Zen is like not to have a goal, but that's easier said than done, and I think that having a therapist can help you get out of problem-solving mode and try to just live life and face your problems and try to, instead of trying to fix all of them and solve all of them. But it can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when facing a challenge in life. But when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist will help you become your best problem solver, I think, by focusing more on being in the moment and not the goal, like I was saying. I have had therapy my whole dang life. It's been immensely helpful in dealing with loss and change and all kinds of things. And I've used BetterHelp, and I really liked it. I think everyone should have a therapist, and that includes you. Certainly everybody I know needs a therapist, and I'm very happy to have one. So try it out. It's really good. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and you can switch therapists anytime. I always tell people, so many people I know try a therapist, don't like their therapist, and then think therapy's not for them ever. And I'm like, no, it's like dating. You gotta find the right one. Shop around, get a different therapist. You can do it on BetterHelp, try a bunch. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can help you get there. Visit betterhelp.com/allies today and get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/allies. BETTERHELPDOTCOMAILLIES. BetterHelp.com/allies. Fall is officially here, and with a new season comes a new routine. But if you're like me, you don't want the same old every single day. Luckily, Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery makes it easy to switch things up. They've got 30-plus meal choices every week, 36 weekly add-ons, and you can add protein and select vegan or veggie meals. Whether I'm out and about all day or just cozying up at home, Factor's fresh, never frozen meals make it easy to fuel up fast with meals that heat up in only 2 minutes. Really good stuff. Also, guess what? There's a pumpkin feast for two. That sounds like a nice date night, fall vibes, pumpkins, pumpkin-themed meals. They have a seasonally rotating menu, fall options every week, seasonal favorites like 3-bean vegan chili, apple mustard pork chop, Tuscan tomato chicken, throw these into your rotation for the fall vibes. You can have 30 plus meals per week options and 36 add-on options like smoothies, juice, snacks, and more. Keeps me going no matter what my schedule is. If you need more protein, you can add protein to select vegan and veggie meals. Factor is cheaper than takeout, something that's important to me because I get delivery and takeout way too much. Seriously, and thanks to their commitment to ingredients and integrity, you can actually feel good about what you're eating every day. When things get extra busy, Factor is flexible. You can change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause and reschedule deliveries anytime, no problem. Not only does Factor offer fast, simple solutions when I need them the most, they also help me stay on top of my goals when it's hard to carve out time. With offerings like Protein plus Keto, I can stay on track without a lot of extra work. It's great. Head to go.factor75.com/allies60 and use code allies60 to get 60% off your first box. That's code allies60 at go.factor75.com/allies60 to get 60% off your first box. That's a complicated URL, so I'm going to say it again. go.factor75.com/allies60. Use the code allies60, 60% off your first box. Thanks.
All right. The great Framerate debate.
Excellent.
This came up for 2 games you were reviewing.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
The news broke last Friday or something like that. They
Yeah.
put a message out there saying it was going to be 30 frames per second, and then you were saying Plague Tale's only 30 frames per second as well.
Yeah.
And so
Some weird way to make it 40 on Series X with
Right.
120
I think that
hertz.
you can do that with everyone.
there's
Yeah,
some 40
yeah.
hertz modes that people
Yeah.
have spoken some good things on. But both games that are not last gen, correct? Those are both current gen only titles.
Mm-hmm.
And so people were like, but we're getting used to having performance mode. Spider-Man
Yeah.
had a performance mode, and Demon's Souls had a performance mode, and
A lot of the first party stuff, yeah.
a lot of
Ratchet
first party
Clank, yeah.
stuff. But now
Yeah.
we're back to games that are just 30.
To every single dev ever out there, like, just make your game look worse and have it run 60. Like, I will take 60 over visuals every single time. Every single time. Every time.
Give us the option, I would say.
And give us the
Because
option.
I know people that like the
Yeah.
high fidelity
But I'm just,
of it.
yeah, I'm thinking of, like,
But I prefer frame rate. But that's just me.
I want to bring up Guardians of the Galaxy. I think is a very, very like recent example of 30 versus 60. They have a performance and a quality mode. And if you played Guardians of the Galaxy, performance mode looks incredible, runs like a dream. When you put on the 30 FPS graphics mode, I mean, it's right there. It just it runs so bad compared to 60 frames. Like that's the thing. I think if you are just like booting up a game and playing it and it's only 30 and you can't like toggle, like maybe after a while if you won't fully realize, you can maybe like put it behind you, whatever, you get in the mode, I did just replay Red Dead 2. That's 30 frames and it bothered me for a minute and then I got over it. But like, when you can toggle it in a game and you can see it that quickly in motion, it is night and day. And I will always prefer 60 frames.
Yeah, I've always been a champion of frame rate over fidelity. It's nice when you can hit both.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something usually more afforded when you play on PC than consoles, though that's not always been the case, especially as of late. But yeah, definitely always disappointing when you see current gen games only offering 30 frames, and then obviously these two you talked about, I did see like was it the Callisto Protocol was the one that like
They
saw
said
an
it's
opportunity
60.
to be like, yeah, we're coming out on time and 60 frames as well.
Nice.
I mean, it's just
Yes.
it's something I think a lot of people, even if they say they don't realize it, they do actually value and appreciate.
Yeah, and Horizon, another great
That's
example.
that's what I was going to bring up is for me toggling those was. I was like,
It's insane.
I was like, why would you not play it? You have to play
Ever.
performance.
Yeah,
Like,
why
I
would
don't-
you ever?
I know they did a patch that kind of tweak it a little bit
Yeah.
early on, but even after, it still was like,
Yeah.
no, play in performance mode, please.
Yeah.
please,
But I mean,
please.
they didn't say it was to have a higher resolution or anything like that. They're saying
No,
it's because
The
of
game.
the co-op.
Yeah.
To have both players be able to be in that open world and for everything
Yeah.
to run.
And if you watch our
You know.
preview too, it actually didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. You know, I kind of just got in the zone, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
60 would be such a
You
game
adjust,
changer.
but for a game with like
yeah.
the combat like that stuff, I definitely feel it.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I wish it was 60.
But you talk about Red Dead, you
Yeah.
know, and I think there's that huge open world. You've got all that AI going on. You've got all this foliage happening, and it's like sometimes cutting things back. Like, did you see the comparisons of Gran Turismo 7 on PS5 versus PS4?
No.
And just how different those tracks look?
No.
Because they make sure that, not Gran Turismo 5, Gran Turismo 7, but yeah, so it's like the trade-offs that they have to make
Yeah.
for that game to run at
Yeah.
60 on PS4, like it looks like a whole different game.
Wow.
In places.
Yeah, I saw a cool thread. Dev was talking about just how many frames things take.
Yeah.
They were using all this industry lingo of like, oh, we add this, there goes 3 frames. Oh, you want this in the game too? There's 4 frames. Okay, this in the background, that's a frame, and it's like adding it all up, you're losing your frames.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, when we saw like a lot of the launch games, like ray tracing was one of those big things. And I don't know what Insomniac did to make the performance ray tracing happen.
The Performance Plus mode from Insomniac is
Yeah.
the culmination.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, ray tracing just kills frame rate. And that's why like Nvidia is constantly like pimping their DLSS because it's like, oh yeah, we'll just not render. We'll just bypass that whole problem by like showing people ray tracing with AI cloud calculations or whatever the heck that thing does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the thing. Like because here's like I cut a line in Huber's Plague Tale script.
Yeah.
Because you were saying that like
It should be though.
it
I
should
stand
be
by it.
it's like unacceptable.
I didn't
or
say
whatever.
unacceptable.
There was something
I did not say
that
I
was
said-
like very dogmatic.
I
and I'm
said
like,
it should be standard.
should be standard.
It
And I'm like,
should be.
no, it's not. Should not be standard. It's not.
I think it should be.
It's not going to work.
Because like
And that's why I changed it to preferred.
yeah.
Because especially now, when we're looking at like we're getting further into the generation.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of these games that we're doing, there's performance modes. We're able to do those performance modes because they're also running
Cross-gen.
on last gen.
Yeah.
So they had headspace.
Yeah.
And we're now
Keep that headspace,
we're
Devs.
2 years in,
Keep that headspace.
and we're getting the opposite problem
Yeah.
because now the graphics cards, we got the 40s coming out.
Jeez.
And so they're trying to hit what they can do on the PC.
Yeah.
And so now the PC's getting the headspace and the consoles, like, well, this is what we can do on the consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for Gotham Knights, like they canceled the last gen version
Yeah.
of those games because they were probably having problems and couldn't get it to work right. So
Yeah.
they're just like, man, they're probably just happy they got it to go at 30 and just work. So I don't know.
You could have said in your review, it's extremely suspect, and they don't support. Yeah.
Because like Plague Tale's kind of a slower game, so it didn't bother me as much. But
Yeah.
you know,
But you say that. So here's the thing. Here's one of the big examples for me, which it blows my mind because, like you're saying, it's always hard to go back. 60 is always better.
yeah,
But I think 30 is perfectly acceptable if it's a smooth 30. 'Cause
smooth 30. Yeah.
Forza Horizon, those first like 3 games
yeah,
ran at 30 frames per second. It's a
Wow.
racing game,
Wow.
right? But it's an open world racing game. So you've got all of this stuff. You've got this whole world that's got to stream in no matter where you go. You got cars roaming around the map. But they really like made sure that that frame rate was smooth. They did other kind of techniques to make sure that it felt consistent. And so when they first introduced 60 frames per second on the PC version, I think of 3, the thing is that 60 frames per second option was there, but it wasn't always hitting it. So even though for me it would dip down to me like 40 or 45 or 50, like those little hitches of not hitting it consistently, the pacing, that was way worse to me than just putting it back down to 30.
Totally.
Locked is definitely better than variable.
I think Second Son, Infamous had like unlocked frame rate, and it would just go all over the place, and you could totally notice it. It's very weird.
Oh yeah, that's actually one of the weirdest things when games do unlocked.
Yeah.
It's like you walk into a certain corner of the map, and all of a sudden, like everything is super smooth and awesome.
Yeah.
What just happened? Can I get this the whole game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, like, because this generate, like, how do I say this? Okay, games obviously look so much better than last gen. I stand by this, but it's obviously not as big of a gap,
Right.
as a jump as it has been in the past, going from standard to HD and stuff. So I think, like, because I can't really, like, games obviously look better, but like I can't really say they look like infinitely better. I think that's where like the 30 FPS kind of bugs. It's like, you know, if we're going from like standard def to high def and there were 30 and it was that big of a jump, it'd be like, okay, well, they got to be 30 because they just look unbelievable. But it's like we've kind of like, you know, the gains aren't as big on the surface. I know underneath there's so much more going on in games, but I think just like from pure visuals, it is a tough pill to swallow when a game is locked at 30, just because of the history of games, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely more accepting of like an open world game,
Yeah.
as you're saying, running maybe at like a 30 frames,
Yeah.
just because of their nature. Especially when you're saying racing, like how fast you're traveling, how those asses have to stream at that like speed as you're traversing. Like that's faster than being on a horse in Red Dead or running, sprinting on foot in like a medieval style like game. It's just, that's got to be a bit of a challenge. So the fact that those are starting to get more of those starting to hit like 60 frames or closer to it.
Yeah, and I think
is
there's another
nice.
thing that like it may have just been marketing speak or whatever, but I remember them saying something that like in some of those games where like the frame rate, like visuals would update every 30 frames per second, but the physics simulation would be like 60 frames per second or even higher than that. And so that's another weird thing to wrap your head around. It's like, it controls really well even though you're not necessarily seeing it all.
It's also really funny because every time a game does have a performance and a visual mode, and anytime I swap it, the only thing I notice is that one is way smoother than the other. When I put it on 30, it doesn't look better, to me at least. Like Horizon,
I definitely had that experience with Demon Souls Remake. So it's like, I don't know why you would be on the cinematic.
Yeah, I
cinematic
can't
mode.
even tell. Like Horizon, if I'm standing 100% absolutely still, looking at a bunch of trees, and I swap it back and forth, it's like maybe it looks better, maybe, but it's like way worse frame rate. So it's like, just give me the frames every time.
So you'd like to see stuff. When I play some games on PC, toggling those graphic settings, almost all of the ones I ever play, like you clearly see a very big difference.
Yes,
like the lighting, the shadows, even like just the details
PC
and the
for
depth.
sure.
Yeah,
You do.
Because you have so many options on PC.
Like that,
too.
so that's what you're expecting that on console when you toggle them. It's like where's that like clear jump immediate on any screen? I should see that clear jump, and when you're not, or it's not as apparent, that's where I think you start to question that.
Totally. Like I remember Last of Us Remastered was the very first time I became a 60 frames believer, because up until that point I was like, I don't even care, I can't even tell.
Right.
And then you can swap it back and forth, and I was like, oh my god, this is life changing. And the 30 FPS mode on Last of Us Remastered just is better shadows was like the main thing. I was like, you can't even tell. The shadows barely look better.
Turn on for photo mode.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You're taking those screenshots.
Yeah, I think there are definitely some games where you'll see the ray tracing make a big difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like I said, like 60 is always better. But I think as we get deeper into this generation, we're going to see more of these AAA titles.
Yeah. Maybe
for 30 instead.
maybe this conversation, not this specific one, but the Gotham Knights conversation may change that. It honestly may change that.
Yeah. Plague Tale's also not like a huge. Asobo's not a huge developer.
Double A.
You know, so like,
Yeah.
they're not going to necessarily always have those resources to do that.
Absolutely. Fair point.
And it could be, you're talking about how wide the maps and stuff were. And like they might have to shrink the maps to actually get it to run at a good 60. Don't know.
Totally.
Just play on PC and get it all.
True.
Get those 4090s. Is it 4090? It's
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like this big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's big.
It's a refrigerator. Also this week, I was going to talk about it a little bit more, but I changed my mind. Helena Taylor came out and accused
Put him on blast.
Platinum of giving her this lowball $4,000 figure offer for reprising the role of Bayonetta. And then Jason Schreier came out a couple of days later with the report, and he had documentation saying it's like, no, actually she was going to make more money than she had ever made before. And
Wild story.
so it's a crazy story, and there's a lot to it. But I think the thing to me is like, there's only so much we can know about it.
Yeah.
And despite, regardless of like what she might have said and what might be true and might not be true, is that, yeah, like it does raise awareness that voice acting in general,
Yeah.
people need to be paid more.
Yeah.
I like,
Sure, yeah.
but at the same time, maybe in this case, this was not really the example of that.
Yeah.
Other than the residuals part.
I definitely
but that's
think-
not standard.
Yeah,
People aren't usually getting residuals on their characters.
Yeah. I definitely feel like specific characters there should be like, Bayonetta is an iconic character now that should be rewarded. So like Solid Snake, David Hayter, like
He was kind of rewarded for a bit.
yeah.
From kick to the curb.
And then kick to the curb. Like these iconic roles, they like when she brought up that this franchise has made as much as it's made, like she kind of is that character. Like
Right.
it's
But
part of it. It's like I
that's
think
one
of
of the things that
costumes.
rubbed me the wrong way though, is when she says like, oh, Jen Hale she can't call herself the voice of Bayonetta. She can't sign
Yeah,
on.
that's
It's like that was weird.
Personal
it
attack.
got
Yeah.
a little bad.
Yeah, that's a weird take.
Yeah.
Like, you're not the only person that created that character.
Yeah.
It's like, Adam West saying it's like, oh no, Michael Keaton, he can't be Batman.
Or-
I'm
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah.
Everyone who's voiced Joker, one of them coming out and saying,
Yeah.
I'm the only voice of Joker. It's like,
Yeah.
they're all
Although
like,
Mark Hamill's pretty good.
yeah, but everyone's had pretty good takes on it. But I think, yeah, you were right. It's like raising awareness about like the situation of voice actors in general,
Yeah.
especially with all that coming out about like the AI voice stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Like,
hate that.
yeah.
now
hate
more
it.
than ever,
I hate
it's-
with the James Earl Jones, Darth Vader.
yeah.
No.
In the game we played, which didn't have a single original VO line, it was all AI. The Ascent
The Ascent
was
has
all AI generated
Wow.
VO. Did you not notice that? I didn't notice it either, and apparently it did. So like,
what the hell?
yeah, some you
Dang.
gotta, like voice actors, need some more protections and stuff as that we move into that unknown
Yeah.
future.
Robots, man.
Because it
Yeah.
feels like they work a lot less hours than like a dev working on the game for years, right? Like VO will be like a month or a couple months. They'll come in and do it, and then they'll just like see you later.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, there's got to be a way.
But
to
it's
kinda,
still, it's like, it's the skill and like that's
Yeah.
what they do.
They,
you know,
they
like,
should.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like they're being lowballed, because like the industry is just like, oh, you're only working for a
Yeah.
month, so see you later. When it's like, yeah, it's a month, but it's like a crafted technical month. Like, yeah,
Yeah. It's also interesting to see people say that like some voice actors, the way they secure more money is by they go in and do like the mocap and stuff for their character as well. So it's like you have to bring more
Got
value,
it.
which is like
Yeah.
same thing. What are you bringing to raise your value to justify being paid more? So I think it's more of a uphill battle for them. That if you're not an established name already, it's very hard to get to that like level of pay, or
Yeah.
even anywhere close to it.
totally. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking about like this thought went nowhere. But I was just thinking about costumes in movies. You know, I was
Right.
watching Rings of Power, and it's like the
costumers are crazy.
The costumes are
Outlander costumers and set designers and all that stuff. Those people were like crazy to make that stuff happen.
It's such a big part of the character, you know? And
Right.
I was just thinking of like VOing a character, but that's not the only part of the character. And like costumes, kind of like, I don't know how much costume people make. I wanted to look into that. But
Yeah,
I thought kind of the same
Please
thing.
pay them well, like just like some of the like VFX people in the movie industry.
They get really
Sorry,
bad deal.
Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah.
You said about the Lord of the Rings, the story of the chainmail for the original trilogy. How many people they had to bring in to make the authentic chainmail for all the extras? Holy crap!
Seriously.
It's like a behind the scenes in Fellowship or Two Towers or something. It's insane what they had to do.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The other thing too is just support Jen Hale because she's done a lot to move the needle forward for actors and compensation.
I don't think this is like you shouldn't like be mad at her. It's not her
please,
fault.
Very pro union too.
Yeah.
Like standing up for like voice actor rights.
Totally.
And a really good statement about how many people work on a game, and that
Yes.
you know, in
Keep
the
that in
face
mind.
of the call for the boycott, it was nice to say like, hey, you know, if you're mistreated, that sucks, and like we should look into that. But at the same time, a lot of other hardworking people put a lot of time and effort into this.
That are like passionate, love it, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don.
So I guess we talked about it anyways. So
there you go.
but also this week, G4 was shut down again.
For reals this time. They had layoffs.
Well, I mean, they were
before,
shut
but it's
down
like,
for real before.
Okay, they had a skeleton crew for a bit.
No,
then,
I
or something?
mean they were shut
When
down.
I was there.
They were brought back.
Yes, I know that.
And now,
yes.
they had layoffs a couple months ago. Yeah, have it on a Sunday because somebody decided to leak the memo before it went out to people, so people find out on planes and all of this other stuff. So, our heart goes out to all our friends
Straight up.
that were there. It's crazy. The DualSense Edge will be $200.
Jesus.
It's cheaper than I thought it would be.
26.
That's cheaper than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, Huber's reaction. You were in the DualSense.
What was
stuff.
Hopefully
like
this one
Elite
doesn't have drift.
Xbox Elite.
with 2 or whatever is like?
I
think it was like 2 something.
I thought it was only like 100.
No, I think there's like a version of that different.
Oh gosh. Okay.
We'll get corrections.
There's
whatever.
the Game Lab versions too, where you get all the custom colors.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Do you have one of those or
No,
Ben does.
Ben did had
Yeah.
one. No, I'm not. I don't like Xbox controllers, so I would not buy it. Click, click, clack, clack, clack.
Somebody joked it's like, well, that's how you fix drift.
Yes, yeah. You just spend $200.
Just
What if it
buy
has no
one that you
drift?
can swap the
Seriously.
stick out for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can swap the stick. Yeah, I forgot.
For $200, that thing better come with a lifetime warranty. I don't give a shit. Kidding me?
Probably doesn't.
$200?
Final Fantasy 16 got a new trailer, and according to Yoshida, it's in the home stretch. Team is now focused
Polish
on
that
debugging,
shit.
polishing, optimization.
It's gonna be clean. Probably won't be 60 frames.
It will be.
It won't.
I
It
don't
will
think it
be.
It won't.
Square Enix has always been pushing
They'll probably do a
visuals.
trick in combat where
it's
battles
60
were,
frames?
Yeah, somehow.
I don't know if it looks 60 in that footage. I know it's a
imagine.
trailer, but
Yeah, you're right.
I just expected it not to be.
December 3rd,
Damn it.
there's going to be an Elden Ring jazz concert.
Damn, I thought you were
so
going to
cool.
say Elden Ring
What the hell?
DLC. I was like, wait, what?
Jazz concert. They'll announce the DLC there.
There's like 2 times you can get like virtual tickets, and I think
that's
it's
funny.
happening somewhere here in LA if you want to
Because
get
when I
real
think of
tickets.
Elden Ring, I
but,
think of jazz.
Yeah.
My next, I'm gonna make
It's such a weird thing.
like
I don't know
jazz
what
man
that's going to
character.
sound like.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, what a
I
jazz
don't know.
Yep.
David Grivel, the director of the Splinter Cell remake,
Oh,
he's moving on.
Yo.
We don't know a lot.
Not a
He
good
just, like,
sign.
he's like, yeah, it's time for me to go somewhere else.
Not a good
do something else.
sign.
Time to
And
get deeper.
he'd been at Ubisoft Montreal, or at least with
Dude.
Ubisoft, for 11 years. Worked on Ghost Recon Future Soldier, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Assassin's Creed Unity, Far Cry 4, 5, and 6. Right now, he's like, nah.
Company's cursed.
Someone else make this game.
Yeah, Ubisoft, sort it out.
UK's CMA has opened a public call for evidence regarding Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard, because when you don't know how to make a consequential legal
Yes.
decision, the best thing to do is to bring in console war fanboys.
Yes. Great idea. Great idea.
Oh, man.
Oh. Netflix has opened a 5th game studio. They're exploring cloud gaming, and they have 55 titles in the works, apparently, which seems crazy to me.
Wow.
They want half of their games to be focused on their original IP.
Yeah.
Not looking to replace consoles or anything, but to add value to Netflix.
All right.
In a perfect world, the golden timeline of this is that with their IPs and with their originals, we get these little side games that offer interesting ways to learn or interact with the properties. So like Stranger Things, I think of Stranger Things 3 the game. It was so much fun. Or like, maybe like Bly Manor or something. You can get a little spooky ghost game where you just like explore the manor for a little bit or something like that. Just smaller, they don't need to be huge God of War type AAA games or anything, but these small, meaningful ways to interact with like Cobra Kai, but like not, not the Cobra Kai game we've played, Damiani, which is middling, but like,
dude, you reminded me of like an executive interacting with our IP
with new ways
extra properties.
We are on the golden timeline.
It's a version.
That would be cool. Like Netflix is a hub for entertainment, and it's like I'm always on Netflix, and like I am so invested in so many of their IPs. So if you went to go watch Cobra Kai, and you could just scroll down, and it would be like, "Yo, play the Miyagi-Do dojo fighting game really quick," or whatever. It's like I don't know.
It screams like mobile to me,
Totally.
in the sense of like quality and depth, which I guess is totally fine. You know what it really sounds? It sounds like those old like games you would see on a website for like a company's
E-Bombs
website.
World or something.
Yeah, you go to CartoonNetwork.com and you see like their games on there, and they're just like weird little things. That's what I'm picturing in my head.
I'm just so weirdly obsessed with that Stranger Things 3 game, Damiani, that like I will always have hope because of that one game.
Gotta have hope.
Like I fucking love that game.
Just make a follow-up. Should have made a follow-up for season 4.
Seriously,
like a Maniac Mansion
dude.
type game in like Vecna's house.
Yes. Yes, dude.
Dude, they could just rip off like Zelda, like the upside down, like the portals traveling. Yeah.
Oh my god, a Zelda Stranger Things game? Yes.
It's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From Kristen G. Rosario. Hey, allies. Seeing G4 getting shut down again honestly really sucks. Me and my brother not only loved the original G4, but even watched the new G4, and we really loved it. The personalities that were a part of the channel alone were the main reason we kept watching. My question is this: if G4 were given one more chance, but you guys were running things, I don't suggest that, how would you ensure that this G4 3.0, as it were, would stay afloat, especially past a year?
I would not hire 200 people on staff.
Fair point.
That would give me 20, 30 people or whatever. Could make it last way longer than that. I could do nothing and make it last longer than they did. And not get people on there for like $20,000 appearances or $30,000 appearances.
Oh, the guest appearance.
Yeah.
fees?
Right.
What?
Like, yes, dude. Some people get paid a lot of money to be on things.
Yeah, it's insane.
But it's like, if you can afford that, cool.
Yeah.
But if you can't sustain that, then don't do that.
Like
kinda-
the top
yeah.
people get like tens of $20,000, $30,000, and everyone else just gets
you mean
peanuts.
like people don't work their guest appearances?
Right,
like,
right.
Yeah.
I thought
Just
you meant
a
like
host
the
thing, yeah.
on-screen talent was getting that.
Influencers.
No.
Oh,
That's what I
dang.
meant.
I was like,
Like someone just
that's
showing
really
up
good pay,
for an
but, like,
appearance.
whoa.
All the big fries.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I had it backwards. Slightly uncomfortable answering this question until we get like, I know who is it? Someone I saw is doing like a deep dive right now
nice.
to do a big like report about what really went on behind the scenes.
Great.
So it'd be really good to get like that information to like get some more insight rather than like speculating, because some of the like what would be said could be like possibly insensitive to because they like the people work there like we knew this we couldn't do
Oh, I'm
anything.
sure a lot of them knew it.
We've been in that situation before where
Yes.
some things were out of our control and
Yes.
like we can't really do anything about it. But I think to be someone on the outside looking in, it's very flawed to have like a network television, cable television philosophy in 2000.
That's what I was gonna say. That's that's my only note,
in the
Damiani.
2020s.
I don't know who's making a cable show in 2022. Nobody has cable TV anymore.
Even beyond that, I know they have beloved shows, but a lot of the some of the core shows are just a little bit dated. Like it's been 15 plus years. They're evolutions of those ideas already on YouTube and Twitch.
Like sports now has moved to YouTube and like Amazon Prime as like NFL.
They had like a YouTube channel and stuff like that, but it's just
and they streamed on Twitch.
Yeah.
I think it was a combination of what Brad was initially saying, that like they just were way too
They're spending too much
intensive
money.
on the overhead, like the resources to run the company, like a little too large scale probably for that. And then the programming, it should have been maybe like a harder look at what types of shows they wanted to put on there. I think, one or two core shows should have come back.
Attack of the Show and
Attack of the
X-Play.
Show and X-Play should have been their staples. And then maybe building newer shows that have like a similar vibe that fit in but have evolved. Like, these shows were good back in the day, but like something like Cheat can't today.
Well, they didn't do that.
I know,
Yeah.
but like that type of mentality like just doesn't fly. So you need to come up with something good. And there were definitely people there who either behind the scenes or like were close to fruition working on programming like that. I think they just didn't have enough time. That's the other thing. This died so fast.
Yeah, so fast.
That as I said, this might have been in the works. They had a new slew of programming ready to go, but they
went
cut
too
out.
gung ho right off the
Yeah.
bat when they didn't have enough there. It's like they're not the only competition now. Like back in the day when they were there, they were like they felt unique and different, and like they were doing something that no one else was. But it's like, man, times have changed a lot.
Yep.
You got people doing crazy stuff just like on their YouTube channel,
Yeah.
just some random person making crazy like docs
Yeah.
on video games or something like that.
The coolest novelty of G4 back in the day when I was a kid was like, oh, I can watch a video game show on TV.
Yeah.
In my living room. I can put a show like that alone was awesome. I will not forget that. I remember watching like G4 all the time, just in my living room, and now it's like, no one's doing that. You're just watching YouTube or TikTok videos. Like,
Yeah, I think that's the thing, and it's difficult because I'm guessing that probably the whole pitch and reason it even existed was because it was with the Comcast thing. And
Yes.
it's like that's something that the network or whatever was like looking to add value, was to have another channel that would keep people buying cable, paying for cable and all of that kind of thing. But it really is like beyond programming and style and everything else. To me, like that is actually the Achilles heel. Is saying you're going to have a 24/7 channel, and most of your content that's on that channel is not actually your content. It's just
it
going
was
to be
reruns of Cops.
the reruns of Cops and all that stuff.
forever.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, it suffered the fate of like every cable channel.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if they had come back and let's say, okay, these are the shows we're going to make, and then these are the platforms we're going to target, right?
Yeah.
Put G4 on Hulu, or put something on Amazon Prime, or put something on Netflix.
If you have 200 people, you should be live 24/7 then. Like let me click into G4, and every time I click in it, if it's not a show like Attack of the Show or X-Play or something, it's somebody playing a game.
Like a stream
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah, on TV, and
Something.
it just doesn't stop. Like it's an insane amount of work. But again, if you have 200 people,
maybe.
Like
But
I think that would have been.
I think it's I think it's not bad to have those people focused on making good shows.
Yeah.
But I don't think the cable channel
Yeah.
vertical.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
I think you're actually right, Bud. The most right in terms of like why this happened, in terms of being another asset to try and bolster their cable package versus anything else. And honestly, like a revival project usually goes better nowadays when it's not tied to something like that, like a corporate, like a string attached. So I think they just were
Corporate string.
Yeah, they basically had someone they had to answer to, and they weren't ultimately probably in charge of everything, and ultimately that led to them, dying out really fast because they probably saw Yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that they really want to do it. They should have probably gone like the Patreon route or something and pick a few of their like best shows and like the talent and like had more I feel like nowadays if you're gonna start something like the independence, like being backed by something like Comcast, it was probably the best case scenario. You have a few years. Why that corporate money is like supporting you until some executive finally in some report pays attention. Oh, they're not making us money. Axe them and stuff. So this time around, I think because the landscape of cable in general is so kind of bleak, it was just faster for them to see this isn't working. Like we tried this experiment, we know how this goes. We're not gonna wait that long for this to like tell us what we already know, that this is not gonna work out, which is just unfortunate because I saw the final video from from David the goodbye video where they're going through their offices, which like the cubicle stuff, which look kind of similar to like their studio space, which is like actually going through studio halls with all the sound rooms and everything on each side, which was really awesome. And then going into their set and seeing their set, but like the emotion on their face, like just this is it, like it's over. It was heartbreaking to see that.
Fuck.
Yeah,
We've been there. That's for sure.
It was a little like
sucks.
a little too close. I was like, oh, I know that. We've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. It's like they had, you talk about them evolving and everything, but it's like they brought in people that are proven and have strong audiences, but it's like they didn't know how to support them. They didn't know how to structure it, and I can understand that too, because it's like, what exactly are you going to do with these people? But
yeah. Sometimes, no matter how good it looks on paper, it just doesn't always play out the way you think it is. And even when you assemble a large group of very talented people, it doesn't guarantee success. Sports analogy: when teams bring in all the superstars and make the superstar teams, they don't bring home championships. It's just people are like, how these great players.
Yeah, what's up, Dodgers?
They're the best players. How do they not do it? Because in sports, it's teamwork. You have to have that synergy. I think when it comes to content creation, it's not just synergy. It's more, there's kind of like an X factor, something that is audiences latch onto and will know you for. And with G4, I think how it was always going to play out is that from the get-go, it seemed a little too traditional and old-fashioned. Despite the new ideas, I think sometimes even like an old name, it just is associated with an older time. Sometimes it's better to, if you want to do the same thing, maybe come up with like a different name and maybe like a different branding. But like I think it was always kind of an uphill battle with G4. There definitely was excitement.
Yeah, I think there's
initially.
definitely doubts, but at the same time, there's definitely they didn't find a way to stay in the general conversation. And I don't know what the secret to that is at all.
Kids don't watch cable TV, first of all. I know they have other stuff, but still.
It's more than that. I mean, again, they said they had a YouTube channel and they did stream on Twitch. But the problem is some of the biggest traditional media outlets don't do the biggest numbers on Twitch. It's a different game.
Yep.
And you can't just force your way in. You can try your best to buy your way in by, buying in like the influencers and everything, trying to promote you. But we see that with games all the time. They're like the flavor of the week, and then people move on if they don't have like that staying power. And fortunately, Twitch is just a very crowded space right now. It's very hard at this point to be a breakout. And I just didn't really see how this wasn't the direction G4 is going. But even people saying, "Oh, G4 has just been like a Twitch channel and it's like double or on YouTube and just done all that." And I'm like, I don't even know if that would have worked out at this point. Like, because both those are so saturated at this point. It's just really difficult.
Competition's fierce for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, though, sucks. I hope the best for everyone that lost their job. It's never a good thing, but yeah.
Lastly, Blood, I think you were onto something when you said it should be on Hulu or something, like on a streaming service like Netflix, Hulu, Prime. Like
and
and
maybe they did some of that, and I'm not familiar with it.
That would have
Hulu, man.
That would have been good.
I had something on Hulu once.
You did?
You did?
Do you not know?
No.
They put Timeline on Hulu for like
Oh,
on there for like
right.
2 months.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Like no one watched it.
I didn't know that, dude. Sick.
What?
There was some other game trailer stuff on there for a little
Right.
tiny bit.
Amazing.
This one Hulu was like brand new.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they were like
Before any buyouts.
they
Yeah.
wanted like
Back
they were
then,
desperate for content.
Like, who's
so.
really
But
good
that's the thing
now.
that's weird about some of those like big things like that. It's like they'll get your content and they're like, oh, yeah, we want your content on there and everything, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then it'll just like, then you find out that like, oh, there's all kinds of other stuff that they put up at the same day. And so like nobody can find any of it. It's just like, it's just there if you search for it. But otherwise, who has any idea?
Yeah. Well, it's always the story is just like always so damn sad because like it feels like
Yeah,
every
it
other
is.
week this like industry our side of the industry just keeps shrinking and shrinking. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things I said on Twitter, which is like one of the hardest parts. It's just like, that's where I got one of my first opportunities.
Yeah.
Was working at G4.
Same.
Yeah. And so now somebody new coming up, you know, in their 20s, they're not going to have that spot to fill.
It's popped in my head. You're gonna love this, Huber. Sorry. The smallest spoiler for a show.
Serious.
When Howard Hamlin tells the intern guy about the painting,
Yeah.
the guy's who is that?
Oh, yeah.
He goes, that's Charles McGill.
He's just
he's
like, where
one
do
of the,
you
one
work?
of the founders where you work. It's like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
eventually, like young enough people are just have no idea, like not
Yeah.
care. They
Like
will just,
G4 what?
it's just, yeah, G4 will just be like, what was G4? Like
Yeah.
who cares? Like that sucks, but it's the inevitability of everything. It's like everything gives way to the new.
From Brandon K. Gann. Hello, everyone. In light of this week's announcement of the DualSense Edge's $200 price point, I wanted to ask, what, in your opinion, is the most egregious pricing for any piece of hardware to go along with your setup? Well, I would say VR headsets or graphics cards are the worst. They don't affect me. But the proprietary storage expansions, like the Xbox's SSD card or PlayStation Vita's memory
There
card,
you go. That's the answer. That is
infuriatingly expensive.
Holy shit, I spent so much on that.
contributed so much to the death of that system.
Yes, man.
Yeah, that's basically the question. But if anything else comes up,
Honestly, you asked me this question right now. I have a personal vendetta against DualSense controllers. Straight up.
yeah,
They are too expensive and they are unreliable.
yeah. Well, all the controllers are in that same boat.
What I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
The $70
Yeah.
standard
they're
price
too
for
much.
a controller.
Joy-Cons are in that boat as
Yep.
well.
Joy-Cons are like
man.
80
Yep.
for a
Yeah,
set,
Joy-Cons
right?
are like
Yep.
80.
Joy-Cons are pretty bad
Joy-Cons
too
are
because like yeah, I mean I know whatever. Like
Yeah.
I still think a DualSense is like quality-wise you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a DualSense is way more higher quality, more like more
tech,
technology
more tech
in it
than,
than Joy-Cons, and I firmly believe that. And yet Nintendo tax
Yeah.
because
Yeah, that's
you
absurd.
can detach them, and then you could play like motion controlled. But I mean, you could still do that. Yeah.
There's a lot going on in Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
There is,
Yeah.
I know, but like
the
I still
analog sticks
And I like
don't
because you
work.
can have
the
like
ga-
2-player with one.
Well, but there's also the
HD
weird. But some of this stuff
Rumble.
not even used, like the IR sensor. Like
You have a little extra
every
value.
3 years, you'll get a game that'll use that IR sensor for a gimmick.
I feel like just the touchpad on the DualSenses is more advanced than anything in the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
But that's what's funny too, because like the
the
Xbox
haptics.
controllers are essentially the same price, and yet they don't have any
I mean,
kind of motion sense.
you
They don't
are-
have a touchpad.
you
They
are-
don't have a battery.
Don't have a
Well, you're
damn
paying for the
battery.
ability to replace your batteries
Right.
in Xbox, so you can actually use normal
Yeah.
batteries. That's the premium you're paying
Yeah.
right there, and you're paying for that clackety clack.
That clack- paying for the clack,
that
baby.
true gamer experience right there. You want
playing-
everyone to know you're playing video
Seriously,
games.
playing Rock
Now,
Band.
I know, Brad, you say you don't like Xbox controllers.
Correct.
Same.
Have either of you had any stick drift thing replacement
Stick
things?
drift?
No.
On my Xbox controller?
No.
No, because I don't use it as much, probably.
Oh.
But the D-pad is terrible, and I
I don't think
absolutely-
the D-pad is.
I
that
know
bad
you don't
on the
think it
new
is.
ones.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
On the Series X, I hate it. I still think it's terrible.
Oh, I think it's. I don't play too many 2D games using it, so
Okay.
that's probably not an
I
issue.
do.
But I will definitely say no drift on my Xbox.
Sure, yeah.
Same, I've never had drift,
Except
yeah.
no, something else. the resistance, like when I hold up sometimes, it no longer like registers it right away. Like multiple controllers had that
weird.
issue on that. It just at some point after enough use, I'll just hold forward, character will start like moving real slow, and then it's like why every
Weird.
time? I'm like not even like doing anything that hard or like wearing it that much. I'm like, yo, come on, like because I think you're always holding forward most in games or right, so it's always forward or right.
Yeah.
Always that.
I did have to replace the charger, the battery expansion that you can buy for it because it just stopped working.
Oh, yeah.
And I had it for like a year, and I was like, oh,
Oh.
cool.
That's what I mean. These
That's not long
things,
enough,
like
yeah.
a year. Like honestly, you use a controller for a year, and it's just the durability of it
Things aren't
goes
made like they
down
used to be.
significantly.
Yeah.
They're just so expensive
one
for such a
thing-
short time.
Yeah, the one thing I've seen people point to is just the clicks. Those L3, R3 clicks, especially like when you have games that want you to sprint
Yeah.
a lot. And like I think that because
Got it.
we've talked about it's like why is it happening to you and not to me? And like,
Yeah.
am I not playing games where you sprint as much? I don't know.
I don't know.
Good point. Yeah.
I mean, I use my DualSense like
Because I have not
10 hours
had
a day, every
one
day.
controller on any platform drifting, and I don't know what I might be.
you haven't
doing
had it on
differently.
anything?
No,
Not even your Joy-Cons?
It's because
I don't even. But the thing, I don't use handheld that much.
Oh, I don't either.
Okay.
God, no, I don't. I got it on the mine, and I got it on my Pro Controller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's obvious, Bloodworth, because you get all the laptop troubles, so
Yeah.
you spared the controller problems.
Yeah,
There you
PC
go.
problems. I get the more expensive
There you go.
ones.
There
yeah.
you go.
Also, I think the 4090 is pretty expensive.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's also really big.
Yeah.
It's really big.
Yeah, I guess my graphics card's the most expensive
Oh.
I have.
I want a game to use as a weapon.
I mean, if you know where to shop, this isn't an issue, but just the general basic retail scalping of HDMI cables.
Oh.
You walk into you need to get a cable and like walk into Best Buy and they're
yeah.
like $30.
Yeah.
And like it's a wire with
Yeah.
2 plugs on the ends.
They only have those ones in stock. They never have the cheap ones in stock.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. At least with consoles and graphics cards too, it's like, all right, you're gonna have that thing for a lot of years. So that kind of alleviates the big price sticker
Yeah.
shock for me. 'cause-
Consoles, weird. Like,
Yeah.
we're out of the Red Ring of Death territory.
Yeah.
Everyone got that. by the
Yeah,
way.
I got it.
I got it.
I think I got it
got
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was the Yellow Light of Death on PS3, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So far, it's been okay, I guess.
Yeah.
The console's okay. Your Switch is messed up, though.
Yeah, my Switch
Yeah.
has a grinding noise.
I think, you just got to send that in.
Yeah. I don't know who to send
doesn't
it
know where to
into.
send
I don't
it.
know who to talk to. I don't know where to go.
800-255-3700.
CEO.
Slack me that, Blood. I'm not kidding. Slack me that.
But yeah,
I
I actually
have.
don't think I don't think that number works anymore. Actually,
You know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But
But there's still the customer service
Yeah,
on the website is really
just
quick and
Google,
easy.
like,
Okay.
There definitely is a thing where you can call people. I'm pretty sure.
I've been like
Be
scarred
careful.
with.
They don't do 3DSs anymore. 'Cause remember my 3DS got
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
But then I realized I have
Yeah,
like,
it's all Switch
I
now.
have like 2 or 3 3DS is like still sealed for Zelda things.
The thing, Huber, the thing that gets me about it is they are so fast.
Nice.
Like, whenever you do that thing, it's like it turns around in no time. So
Oh,
Talking
dude.
about Nintendo?
yeah, when you do
Oh,
a service on
Probably
like a
because
Switch
by
or something,
exception,
yeah.
my 3DS took like a month because
because it was older.
They're
yeah.
like, well, we can't repair your 3DS. They're like, we're just gonna send you a 2D. All they said was they're gonna send me a 2DS XL. That's it. It took a month to get a 2DS XL from them.
Yeah, I think that's a different situation because
Yeah.
of them being older. But I remember, like, when I was reviewing Splatoon 2, I had to have my Switch replaced because it died.
Most egregious price point.
What?
Persona 5 Royal, PS5,
Oh.
Atlas tax,
baby.
Pretty pricey.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Even if you
listen.
already own it,
Yeah, I own it twice already.
pretty pricey.
Pretty pricey.
Costs a lot of money to make that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Let's play a game. From Just 10, Bunker Pals. This has got a weird backstory to it, so we'll just roll with it. But hello, allies. With Halloween approaching, I've come up with a game I'm calling Bunker Pals. Pretend that the zombie uprising has begun. Luckily, the ever-prepared Don Casanova has readied a bus loaded with supplies.
Awesome.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks, Don.
He's about to drive all the allies to safe countryside bunker where you hope to survive the uprising. The
Dude,
bus...
if Dawn was driving our zombie apocalypse bus, we would survive.
Might have to make a couple stops along the way.
I don't know. Because I would like,
But this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. It's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah,
The bus has room. The bus has room for a few more passengers. In the distance, you see pairs of video game characters approaching. They would like to live with you at your bunker and would share their skills,
Okay.
expertise, and equipment to help with survival.
Leave no one behind.
There is not enough room for all of them, Huber.
Just like hang on to the side. Yeah. Sit on my lap.
In the bunker, not on the bus.
Okay. Still, sit on my lap in the bunker. Yeah.
all right. For 20 years.
So you have to choose between people with similar skills. So here we go. First one out of 10. We need a zombie killing pro.
Ooh.
Will it be Jill Valentine?
Yes. Done.
Or Leon S. Kennedy?
Jill. Sorry, Leon. Jill forever.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to win this one against you. People will riot.
Dude, I'm gonna say Leon. He's got special forces training.
So does Jill, dude. Stars. Let's go.
BSA? Oh, but that
Whoa.
was for a local police station, not for the president.
I'll help you out, Huber. Lockpicking going to come in handy when we need to get some resources out of some
Nice.
buildings and stuff.
Don't
like
gotta
it.
do it when he can just roundhouse kick that door down.
It's Capcom. That doesn't work.
What do you mean?
They're locked doors.
Oh.
They don't let you do. They don't let you shoot.
What
them
if you
all.
lose the
Dude,
lockpick?
What?
What if you lose the lockpick?
Oh, then
she
we're
needs
in,
it.
Then we're in trouble.
We're talking about zombie
We can go
killing,
with
not
Jill,
picking
though.
locks.
We can go with Jill though. She's great.
We're in the bunker. Jill, Stealth Master, Solid Snake, or Sam Fisher?
Solid
Solid
Snake.
Snake.
It's easy one.
Easy.
That's an easy
Yeah.
one.
Easy.
Not even gonna entertain
Yeah,
that
come on.
one.
I need healing. Aerith or the medic from Team Fortress 2?
Okay, the medic is slightly unhinged.
He's efficient.
He's efficient. He's got a gun, but he's like a little too. Like, have you seen that medic short dude? That guy's kind of a maniac. I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
If he's in our bunker, dude.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I will take Aerith.
Aerith.
Yeah, okay.
I will
Cool,
take
calm, and
Aerith.
collected, dude. Aerith. Yeah.
Mechanical expertise. I love this one. Miles Tails Prower
Yeah.
or Slippy Toad?
Ooh, tough one.
Mechanical?
Mechanics.
I don't recall Slippy working on a lot of mechanics since. Which Star Fox games did he do a lot of that in?
I mean, he's
I don't remember.
always.
I just don't remember him like seeing him actively doing anything.
I don't know if I could stand a year plus with Slippy
Slippy?
Toad. I think I might.
I mean, I don't know if I could stand a year plus with Tails either.
Tails, yeah, he's pretty
But Tails is jolly.
chippy. All
So Slippy, right?
In a
I didn't
zombie
play a
apo-
lot of Star Fox games. I don't know.
in a zombie apocalypse, like Tails, I feel like would get too positive. He'd be all like, "Yeah, everything's happy," and it's like, "Yo, it's the end of the world." Tails, like, chill out, dude.
Or you get emotionally crushed by seeing their spirit broken, and they become like.
Punish Tails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eye patch and everything.
The thing I'm gonna say about Slippy is he works on like starships and like higher technology, so maybe he can make some cooler stuff than Tails. Like Tails gonna make like a propeller plane. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Dude, Tails gets bit on one of his tails, and you have to cut it off. He's punished Tails with just the one
No, he's just Tail.
tail. Yeah.
All right, we're going with Tail.
Go
I
with
guess.
Tails.
What?
Sorry, Slippy.
Growing and preparing food. Mama from Cooking Mama or the farmer from Stardew Valley?
I don't even know if Cookie Mama ever like grows anything. Does she? She just cooks, right? I mean, it's her name.
Apparently
Cooking
there's
Mama?
a growing mama as well or something
What?
like that.
I
We're
don't
able
know.
to grow stuff in our bunker anyway. Like,
Yeah.
Can we do we want someone who knows how to make the best out of what we have?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need, Maggie Ree, we need a farmer. Let's get that one. Most essential post-apocalyptic skill, dude, farming. I'm not even kidding around. Number one.
There you go.
Farming and like engineer / architect / blacksmith.
There is a gardening mama on the DS, and it's got a 4.5 stars.
Is
so she
that a
might be good
different
gardener.
mano though?
No, it looks like the same mama.
Same mama?
I mean, the
Wow.
picture looks the same.
4.5
Similar
though.
mama.
Maybe our gardening skills aren't so good.
That could be. It could be.
No, 4.5 out of 5.
Oh.
Oh.
Damn.
Well, maybe we should get growing
Multi-talented.
farmer mama.
Yeah,
I don't
farmer
know.
mama, because she can cook as well.
Yeah, it's pretty
Gardening
good.
mama.
Yeah,
Gardening
best-
mama, whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
Best of all worlds
All right,
there.
all right.
Keeping things tidy. Roll from Mega Man
Oh,
or Chibi Robo.
Chibi Robo. Dude.
I feel like I gotta go with Chibi Robo.
Roll would
had,
be
like
fun
the
to have
vacuum
her-
arm, I guess. I don't know.
Roll would be fun to have around.
Yeah, roll would be cool to have around. But
Yeah.
I don't know all that Chibi Robo does, but Blood's back in Chibi Robo.
Yeah, I mean Chibi Robo will go around, grab the trash, toss it out, fix relationships, keep daughters from crying.
He doesn't talk, right?
No, you can't. Can't talk.
Actually,
He gets
might be kinda
upgrades
nice.
from getting happy points. So when he does things for you and you like it, then he actually gets better.
Okay.
All right, you sold me, Blood.
Okay,
Chibi
happy
Robo.
points
All
I
right.
like.
All right.
Yeah.
Morale boosters. KK Slider or Isabel. Both Animal Crossing characters.
I wouldn't know.
Tunes or jolly morning announcements?
I think I'd rather have tunes.
Tunes. Yeah.
Those
KK Slider is the
tunes.
dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing guitar. Most likely to betray you. Why would you want either one of these? I don't know. Wario or Waluigi?
Ooh. I feel like Waluigi's maybe a little more
Yeah,
sinister.
Wario just
Wario likes to do mini games at
Yeah,
least.
also the farts from Wario would just be
Oh,
insufferable.
no.
Waluigi, yeah. Waluigi.
Waluigi.
Waluigi. Yep.
Yeah.
Solving disputes. Professor Layton
Oh,
or Phoenix Wright?
dude. I
Solving
love Professor
disputes.
Layton.
Does,
I love Layton.
Does Layton solve disputes? I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
Cases.
kind of a mediator too with
Yeah.
some issues. Yeah.
And Ace is like a lawyer.
Yeah.
right? I don't know. I haven't played a lot of Layton.
I feel
so
like
don't
Layton's a
know.
little more easygoing. Like Ace Attorney, dude, might get a little.
A lot of
that.
Yeah, a lot of
accusations.
accusations, a lot of pointing, a lot of like sowing paranoia.
Yeah. Layton's very chill.
And maybe Layton can like solve the case, whatever's causing
He'll
conflict.
analyze the blood for us.
Yeah.
Layton might figure out how to stop the zombie apocalypse.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's the key to it all.
There we go.
And then they don't even give a reason for this one. The ultimate decision: Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle.
Squirtle,
we don't
can we get
want-
unlimited water?
Yeah, water.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This whole
water-
thing was a
we don't want-
ruse.
We don't want a fire hazard. In
we
the
don't want
Yeah.
a fire hazard. Unless we want to burn some zombies. That'd be cool.
Shit.
Yeah, Squirtle, I think.
Squirrel for water, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's compact.
They're all,
Yeah,
they're,
yeah,
They're both
that's right.
They're all three.
Charmander is big.
He's pretty big.
Charmander? Oh yeah, he's not that big.
Or I guess but he grows into something.
Yeah,
I guess they all
mean
grow into something
Blastoise
big.
gets a
Yeah.
huge boy.
Yeah.
It's time for bets. This week's bet: Signalis is out next week, October 27th. Isla did a preview of that the other day. You can check out. But it's an old school survival horror title that looks kind of like an old PlayStation game.
Sick game.
It's in a futuristic setting. It's kind of like Resident Evil. You have limited inventory, only allowing you to carry 6 items at a time. We're going to start a new game in Signalis. We're going to look in our inventory and we're going to read description. What will be the word count for the first item in our inventory? So if it's in there in the number 1 slot when we start the game, or whether it's the first thing we pick up. Could be a gun, could be a device, could be a med kit. Most of what I saw in Isla's preview was about 1 to 3 quick sentences. So, Huber, what do you think?
9 words.
9 words. Brad,
15 words.
15 words. Damiani,
21. Blackjack.
21 words.
Blackjack, baby.
Dawn, how many words?
I said 9 also. Should I change it?
No.
No.
Do I have to change it?
Nope. Don't change it. That's your bet.
9.
Matching bets are fine. That's normal.
9 times.
I said 23. So I hit the high. Last week's bet, Gotham Knights came out.
Did it.
We were going to see how long it takes to go from the start screen up until you can attack the first enemy. I got this clip from Huber And I watched it, and that's a good opening, and that's a real spoilery opening. That's one of sometimes like you kind of laugh at people and it's like, dude, this happens in like the first 10 minutes. It's not a big deal. But it's like in this game, it's like, no, maybe not. Maybe save that for when you play it. This is a pretty crazy opening in this game. But yeah, so last week we bet on how long it would take between pushing start and hitting an enemy. Brad, you bet 3 minutes. Hubert, you bet 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
I thought they were gonna come out swinging.
Isla bet 1 minute and 4 seconds. She really thought they were just gonna hop right in there. And I bet 4 minutes and 18 seconds.
Damn it.
I even like gave some concessions. I like trimmed out because you like sat on the character select screen. You went back and forth for like 30 seconds. So I'm like, all right, I take 30 seconds off of there.
That when they're like spinning around.
Yeah,
that's you.
No. There's a part where after that,
okay.
after that,
Got it.
they're talking, but
Got
then
it.
there's a part where you pick a character.
Got it.
I cut out a little bit here and there, but it still didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
It ended up being 22 minutes
So long.
before you can start this game.
Yeah.
It's a whole episode of a TV show.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Before you get to throw a punch.
Yeah.
So I was on the high, and that brings Massive Chubs to 21, Splish, and Melodorous Sea Lions, 19. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. We are independent. We are fan-funded. We are only able to do this because of you. We're talking about G4 getting shut down. GT got shut down. And we're here because you guys made it happen. And we need people to continue making that happen. You know, people go through different stages of life. We've had some people leave. We've had some people move on. And we've had different people come in. You know, some of our biggest sponsors were not the biggest sponsors at the beginning. You know, and it's just different stages of life, different things going on. And so if you are not currently a patron, please consider coming in there and joining us. All of the things that we do are paid for by you. The rent here, Huber's gas to get here, food,
Soylent.
this water bottles, right? You know,
That's Soylent.
every little thing that we got, the internet bill that lets us do this live stream to the behind the scenes tier, you know, all of that stuff. You make it happen. And to keep it happening, we need new supporters. We need people, you know, if you can raise and give us more support, that's absolutely appreciated. Any amount that you can give. At $1, you get a patron version of this podcast. There's no ads. There's extra love and respect questions down there. And at $5, you get early access. You get some extended cuts for Trash Babies. We got that extended cut happening this week.
Sick.
It's about double the length.
Sick.
Yeah, basically uncut craziness there. You get to submit to Love and Respect, and you get to submit to Workout Buddies, and you get to go in our Discord where Huber's posting a sick bruise.
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna show you my bruise in that Discord.
Get in there.
Yeah.
$5 or above. Bruise photos from Michael Huber. There it is.
That's the kind of shit I would join for.
Well, no, truly, we need your support. You know, everybody's on hard times, and we need you to be there for us and to help everything keep going. And at the top level, our shout-out tiers, people that are giving us quite a bit of money and really pitching in, they get a shout-out on all of our podcasts. This month's shout-outs go to Javawabs, El Thanis, Greg, the Dark Knight Kettering, and Anna Croft. Shout out.
Shout out.
I got that high bet. The 22-minute Gotham Knights TV show.
Yep.
So I get to promote any Easy Allies video I'd like to promote, get the final word on anything I've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in my head, and I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. Video I'd like to promote. There's so much stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many going on.
A lot of choices.
A lot
of good choices.
I'm gonna do that Resident Evil 4 hands-on. First hands-on Resident Evil 4. He forgot to play that. He forgot to tell you about it.
20 minutes.
20 minutes there. Good stuff. And I'm okay with 30 frames per second. I think that's the reason that came up. I'm okay with it. I want 60, but I'm okay with 30 frames. And we'll see you before the next Blood Moon Rises.
Maybe have them be more hands-on this time. In fact, take your hands off, Todd.